This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Oh my gosh, we've already begun. Thank goodness it's Friday. Welcome to DBL. Tori's not here, but don't worry, we got Dr. Coley. Yes. Okay, so Dr. Coley, this is something that we've talked about before, and to our viewers, how many of you take a multivitamin? Because there's a new study out that everyone is talking about. It suggests taking a daily multivitamin because it can help boost memory and could even delay cognitive aging by as much as 2 years. So you're going to break this all down for us. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Not you. He said you're welcome.
She was looking. I thought she was looking at me.
Al has been not quite with us.
Thank you all morning. Thank you.
I'm just going to keep it 100. Keep it 100. Okay, Dr. Coley, you're going to have to break this down because we are confused.
Yeah.
You have said several times on the show that you are not necessarily a proponent of vitamins or multivitamins, to be exact. You have said some other vitamins. I'm going to let you talk about it because I take 20 to 30 vitamins a day because I'm in the middle of my IVF retrieval. Yeah. And so why am I taking so many vitamins? Is this study correct, and what do you feel about it?
Well, you know, this is the first study that has actually shown potentially a positive impact. And I'm still going to stick by my guns here and stick to the fact that I'm not quite yet ready to say everybody should take a multivitamin. But let's talk about what the study did. It took adults over 60 years old, so older adults, mostly white, so 95 to 98% white, very highly educated adults, so very specific demographic, no other conditions, so no heart disease, no stroke, no cancer. And it gave them multivitamins versus placebo, which is a sugar pill. And then they made them do memory tests and see who did better. So interestingly, both groups actually got better over time, even the placebo sugar test group, sugar pill group, but the ones that took the vitamin got a little bit more better. And they got better in two specific types of memory. One is called episodic memory, which is like remembering certain episodes that happened in your life, and the other is kind of global cognition, so sort of overall functioning. But the amount that they got better, guys, statistically, mathematically, it was significant. But clinically, I don't think it has that much of an impact. And it was only one specific vitamin that they studied, Centrum Silver.
Centrum Silver.
Well, you know, based on what you just said, you're kind of talking about a specific brand. I've got two questions for you. One, should we all be taking a multivitamin? And if so, is there a specific brand that should we be taking?
So, like I said, I'm not quite yet ready to tell everyone to take it because I have a lot of questions from this study. So it's promising, right? It helps us sort of think about more science, but we need additional studies. And the reason is, why was this one positive and not the others before it? So that's my first question. What about different racially diverse groups, people with different socioeconomic backgrounds, people who maybe aren't so educated, don't eat as well? What would happen with them? People who have cancer or heart disease, how would they respond to getting a multivitamin every day? What about different multivitamins that have different fillers, different binders?
Right.
Are there small people in the group that are driving most of the benefits? So let's say you're deficient in some micronutrients. You have a big response, and everybody else has no response at all, but when you put everyone together, it looks like the average response was good. So I still think there are a lot of questions, and at this point, I'm not quite ready to say everyone should take a multivitamin, but I think this opens the door for us to start to talk about things we can do in our everyday life to ward off conditions like dementia, which every single one of us worry about,
Right.
and we think the incidence is going to increase as we age.
I do want to make sure I quoted you correctly in the meeting. You said that if you are deficient in a certain vitamin in your body, you should try and compensate with food first, like change your diet up?
That's exactly right. Food is your best first medicine. Our ancestors didn't have multivitamins with binders and fillers and all those types of things. They had exercise and they had food. So the best things we can do to ward off dementia are eating the right things and making sure that we, get enough sleep and exercise every single day because it improves the blood flow to our brain. And if you're deficient in something else, then you want to try to make up with food. Calcium, for example. We know that if you take calcium pills, we can have what's called heterotopic calcification. The calcium can get stuck in our arteries. On the other hand, if you increase your dietary calcium and just drink more milk or eat more yogurt, it's less likely to do that.
Good to know.
Doctor said
Thank
not
you,
deficient
Dr.
in anything.
Okay.
That's what it said.
All right, we got to talk about this. Heartbreaking, but a lot of hope here. Michael Strahan's 19-year-old daughter, Isabella, recently shared her brain cancer diagnosis. She just shared this milestone on YouTube after she underwent her last radiation treatment. But Dr. Coley, this is part of a worrying new trend. Okay, more young people under the age of 50 are being diagnosed with cancer than ever before. What is happening?
You know, we're not quite sure, and this is really worrying in the medical community as well. And the cancers that we're seeing them have are gastrointestinal cancers, urinary tract cancers, and reproductive cancers. And if you think about what those organs do, especially the GI tract and the urinary tract, they expel toxins. So we think it's excess exposure to environmental toxins.
Wow.
We think what we're eating is changing our gut flora, and that could potentially be contributing to it, and then we might be exposed to carcinogens like marijuana and pollutants and not be getting enough sleep. But this is a really concerning trend in the young people with early onset cancer rising much more than it should.
Yikes. Wow.
I know we're wrapping, but I do have a question about the cellular level when we go to break on YouTube.
Okay, so stick to our break, DBL Nation. Go and follow Dr. Coley on social media at Pyle Coley MD. Also, be sure to subscribe to her YouTube page. Plus, check out her podcast, Heart of Medicine, wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you again, Dr. Coley.
Thanks, Doc.
Coming up on DBL, our interview with Jason Priestley. Wait until you hear about the crazy fan encounter he had during his 90210 days. And a mom calls out bullies after her daughter got made fun of for having a knockoff Stanley Cup. Come on, is the pressure for parents to buy name brands for their kids getting out of control? Over here.
Okay, so I have a question for Dr. Coley, and without getting too woo-woo about it. So the idea of things happening at a cellular level, like you're carrying the same eggs that your mother was carrying of you, that you're carrying of your offspring type thing, is there something to the idea that what's happening to children or people under the age of 50 and developing cancer has just gradually been happening at the cellular level from generation to generation until we're here?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, because what happens to our cells is that they accumulate damage over time. And that's why as we age, the damage sort of accumulates. So if your mom passed on to you a damaged cell or a predisposition for a damaged cell, it almost accelerates your cell aging, so to speak. So certainly over the generations, we've seen more cancer occurring earlier as well. And that could be exposure to things your mom did, not necessarily things you did, but it does obviously get transmitted to your DNA. But it's not just your DNA, it's how your DNA is expressed. So I call the DNA the hardware, and then the expression of the DNA is the software. It's how we sort of change it and how we express it. And that's where all the environmental stuff comes in, is how our hardware is turned on during the course of our life.
Because I appreciate the explanation. It just seems as though, again, I'm not a medical professional.
Like
but
Dr. Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that. But it does seem as though we are getting, it's expediting what could have potentially been genetically inevitable, and then the environment is eroding in a way that it's harming us as humans more, and it's just a really bad
combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing I want to point out is that in the communities of color, we are not making the progress we need to with diagnosing cancer and cancer mortality. So we have to do better.
Thank you.
Welcome back. A mom is calling out parents after her daughter was bullied over her knockoff Stanley Cup. So in case you didn't know, the cups have caused a craze, with stores selling out of the tumblers in minutes. But one mom says this obsession with name brand goods has gone too far. Watch.
I am not going to, if my daughter asks for something to help fit in with the kids at school and she feels cool and it's something that she really wants and I can do that for her, I'm going to. But we have got to teach our kids to not make other kids feel inferior for not having the things that they have. That's it. That's where it starts, and it starts with us as parents.
Well said. The mom eventually bought her daughter a real Stanley so she wouldn't be bullied anymore. So this isn't the only craze parents are having to deal with. Face masks, serums, and creams topped tweens' wish lists, and it's created a whole Sephora kid craze. Here's what one Sephora employee recalled about an experience with a 10-year-old girl and her mom. Take a look.
These 10-year-old girls at Sephora are crazy. But what's crazier are the parents that aren't parenting. And this little girl walks up to me and her basket is literally overflowing. So I finished scanning all her products and her total came out to almost $900. So then her sister is like, well, do you have enough? And she was like, no, but I'm probably just gonna use mom's money. The mom literally freaked out. And then the mom goes, take something out. The little girl lost her mind. She's like, no, I'm not taking anything out. And the little girl's just like, because I want it. Growing up, if I ever said anything like that to my mom, it's a wrap.
So what do y'all make of this? Do you cave in, or is it your job as a parent to stick to your guns in situations like this? Ooh, Jeff, what are you thinking?
Well, I think the main thing everyone's talking about is parenting. Right? I don't know how much the kids are involved. There's always going to be a hierarchy, no matter what you do. Everyone's equal in society and we're all on the same playing field. We're not. We have different starting lines when we start life. We have different lines when we're in grammar school. We have different lines throughout life. That's part of growing. So as a parent, you have to help your child understand that as difficult as it is, because I didn't get it till I was 30. At the same token, I give my kids, I want to provide them with everything I can. But I'm not letting my kids show off by any means. They'll wear Target clothes because they grow out of them, and they'll wear their brother's clothes. And if they dare bully some kid at school or show them that they're better than someone else, I will burn everything they have, and they will have nothing, and they will have to take it up with their therapist when they're in their 20s. That's what will happen.
I love it. I love it. We share a very similar philosophy. What are you thinking, Erica? And first of all, I just want to preface this. The reason why kids are so into skincare right now in the Stanley Cups is because of all the YouTube influencers. That's what they're seeing. It's like, you know, what was popular back in the day when we were kids, whether it be Air Jordans, or starter jackets, which also cost an arm and a leg. So that's why it's so popular.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, but I do have nieces and nephews, and I was saying earlier, I make a point not to wear any makeup when I go home to at my parents' house, because I don't want my niece, who knows that I am on television and holds me to this higher standard, to think that the reason why she thinks that I'm beautiful is because I'm hiding behind makeup.
Erica.
But that doesn't matter, though, when you're talking about peer pressure.
Right.
And my thought is something that my husband and I talk about a lot. You can, when you get to a certain standard or whatever in your life where you have certain resources and you can get whatever you want within your bracket of success, it's important that you have discipline to do that, because it ceases to have meaning. So whether you're talking about children or you're talking about starting a new relationship with someone, when you start to throw everything at a person and it leaves you no place to go, just know that you are going to hit a stopping point. There is going to be a time where this person is going to cease to learn the value in what they're receiving, or you're not going to be able to keep up with that lifestyle.
Yep.
And then what?
Yep.
So just know that.
You're right. You're right, Erica. Money comes and goes, but what about discipline?
You just aged 40 years.
Okay. We'll be right back.
You've been on a torch.
I got a surprise for you.
What?
I'm a cop.
You're not a cop. You have a badge?
Not yet.
Not ever. A gun?
Soon.
No, Max, you're not getting a gun.
Welcome back to DBL. That was a clip from Wild Cards featuring Jason Priestley, and earlier we spoke with him all about his crazy times in the 90s and how he learned to play con artist from actual life experience. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show. We love him, Jason Priestley.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
Hey, so you play a con man in Wild Cards, and I know that you're an honest Canadian fellow. I'm married to an honest Canadian fellow. But have you ever been conned in real life?
I have, actually. I got conned by a guy. This was a long time ago, but I got conned by this guy, and so I built a lot of the character of George around him. He was this super charming, super funny, really affable guy. Fun to be with, you know, knew what kind of buttons to push on me and on the other people involved to sort of give us all the good feels, so we never questioned really what was going on.
All right, Jason, I'm gonna go off script here a little bit because I just watched Tombstone the other day, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Shout out to Billy Breckenridge. You make a little appearance in there. That's got to be awesome to play a part like that in such an iconic movie.
It is.
It was an unbelievable experience. It was a great honor to be a part of that project. That movie still stands up today, right? Which is amazing.
So great. I love that movie. All right, on to my other one of my favorite shows, 90210, and I got to give a little preset here. When I was in college playing football, I loved 90210, and when I first got there, I'm like, hey, it's Wednesday night. Are you guys going to watch 90210? Everyone's like, what are you talking about, 90210? By the end of the season, I had half the team in my room. They're like, oh my God, go Steve, go Brandon. I knew you guys watched. I knew you did. But let's get to your cast on 90210. You stay in touch with all your co-stars to this day. What kept you guys so close throughout these years?
Well, I think just going through an experience like that and making that show together for as long as we did, and just being a part of a show like that, that's such a global phenomenon, it's an experience that really bonds you together, and I think that's why we've been able to stay in as close as we have for as long as we have.
I couldn't imagine being associated with anything that was described as a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, this show was a changing moment in television, and obviously we were all watching, but you had the experience of being immersed in this world. So I have to know, is there like a crazy fan experience that you can remember from the days of 90210?
There's got to be many.
Yeah,
yes. Well, we only have time for one.
But the craziest one was I came home one night, and this fangirl had snuck in through the dog door of my house and was in my bed wearing a pair of my boxer briefs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's scary.
That is terrifying.
It is. It was kind of scary. I thought I had better home security than that.
Wait, just
she was there.
the boxers?
Yes, just the boxers. So I had to convince her to put her clothes back on, and then I escorted her out of my house, which was. Oh my
gosh.
You should have called over Ian Ziering to help you out. You know what I mean? All right. So you mentioned that you actually punched. This is off
Speaking
script.
of which.
Speaking of, I think you could handle your own. You punched Harvey Weinstein in the face many years ago. You got to tell us that story.
Well, I mean, I was at I thought he was Janet Jackson's bodyguard, and he grabbed me and he asked me to step outside, and you know Harvey's got some size on him, so I just said I'm not going anywhere with you, and I slammed him, and all of a sudden there were security guards all over me, and I was being escorted out of the party, and I had no idea. I was like, why are these guys like? I just got into a thing with Janet Jackson's bodyguard. Like, what's the big deal? And you know, I found out the next morning when I read the paper.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
God. That is wild. Okay, so here's the thing. I had a picture of you on my wall as a kid. Yes, I did. And teen idols seem to come around once every generation. So what is something that you've learned in your career that you wish you could go back to the 90s and tell yourself in preparation?
Get a doggy door that locks.
Yeah, copy that. I think I would just tell myself to enjoy it more. You know, I was at that age. for some reason I was so focused on the future and you know, the potential pitfalls that I could fall into in the future that I didn't really take the time to enjoy the experience that was happening to me then. So I would just tell myself to, you know, enjoy the ride a little more.
I love that. Yes. Oh my gosh, what a career. DBL Nation, you got to check out Wild Cards Wednesdays on the CW. I cannot wait. Thank you so much, Jason. Congratulations.
Thanks for taking the time.
Awesome.
We'll be right back.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Welcome back. Do you love taking baths? I do. All right. Well, according to a new Harvard study, baths are actually better for your health than showers. They say baths are better for your skin, sleep, and heart health. So I'm curious, what is your bath ritual? Anybody here have a bath ritual?
Sounds like you're the only one who has a bath ritual.
Oh, candles. Candles in my bath
Byron
ritual.
& Co. candles?
Byron & Co. drippy candles, music. Sometimes I bring my book in there and then I just dab. Like I put like a little towel right here and I dab my finger because I don't like wet on the book.
No. Yeah, that's always the thing that threw me off about reading in the tub is I always get that anxiety even I'm just looking at a movie where they're reading and I'm like, how are you going to turn the page? your hand is soaking wet.
I'm right there with you. That bothers me too.
Yes.
That's a small hill.
But I want some candles. I just don't have a bathtub, so can you do that with the shower?
Sure.
Okay.
Erica
You gonna
does.
read a book?
You're a bath guy, aren't you? I thought you were. Your wife?
I love to soak in my filth.
Well, it's better for you than showers.
Yes.
Who did this study? How is that possible? Okay, I get this is an ad, but I'm just asking a question.
This conversation is thanks to Jacuzzi. If you want to start your bathroom remodel, Jacuzzi can help you do it the right way. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Call 800-990-3709 or visit jacuzzibathremodel.com. Before we go, we've got a special birthday shout-out. Today's Dolly Parton's 78th birthday, if you can believe it. And to celebrate, she shared a deluxe digital version of her new Rockstar album. She posted about it on social media saying she's giving us all a present. She's releasing 4 never-released songs to go with her album and a few other covers that we've never heard before.
So inspiring. What a career, still making new original music. She could just ride out on all the hits. She's dropping new stuff on her 78th birthday.
78.
78.
I said 78th.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
she's 70th.
No, 70th birthday, I mean.
Yeah. Her collab with Miley on New Year's Eve last year lives rent-free in my head all the time.
It's too good.
What a
It's
career.
too good. DBL is new every day. We will see you same time, same place Monday. And we're leaving you with Dolly Parton's new version of Sweet Dreams. Enjoy.